Gov is back, guys. We're back with you, trying to build some lineups, trying to get a bit different, but not too different on this two-game slate. I think this is an interesting week because you do have to get different in some areas. You do have to play the contest differently. Like we're going to be doing some showdown breakdowns this week, which is our normal. So there are different abnormal ways to play this that can be fun and interesting. But I still think you should attack it from a strategic standpoint. Like I say, Gov is back. The whole crew is back. Uh, we really enjoyed the comments that we got last week. So if you guys want to drop in comments, we'll try to get to those as well. If you have any, theories or out there ideas that you want to talk about, like this is the kind of week to do that. It's like you don't want to get too crazy, but you do kind of want to have an open mind. So that's kind of how I want to attack this week. We thought for sure the easiest way to do the game breakdown or the previews, if you would, is to basically build the showdown for each game individually, and then at the end of the show, kind of top it off with a two-game slate. Because the strategy is different, but it is very similar, and I think this way we can play our best plays, and some of our strategies will come through that way. Go, Denny, how we doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
Now, how are we doing? Well, how about this? Since Gov gets to pick the Super Bowl captain, why don't me and you, Logan,
you guys
decide?
can pick the championship game captains. That's fine. I will have no say in the captain thing. And this is a good way for everyone to see us build a showdown lineup, too.
Right. So I don't care what game that you have captain for, Daddy. So do you have a preference?
Actually, I kind of do.
Which
I
game
want
do you
Perfect.
want?
I want the NFC.
You want the Washington Philly game?
Yep.
All right. I'm fine with
And
that.
for captain, I think it's quite straightforward. He scored over 30 points both times they played. I don't see that changing this week. I'm just putting Saquon in.
Yeah, I think that's okay in this slate. Like, Saquon's going to have a lot of points in this game. Like, it would take something big from, like, either Jaden Daniels himself or Jalen Hurts stealing from Barkley in order to, like, make that, like, unless you think Jalen Hurts is going to do this through A.J. Brown.
Yeah. He had
I think this is still
140.
a perfectly good play.
He had
He'll be
150
highly
yards
owned.
both
He will be
games.
highly owned at captain, so you got to be aware about that. Everyone is going to try to jam Saquon at captain.
I do view it like this is usually even on the two-game slate you see like two running backs that have competing interest, or like maybe you could see them being close. I honestly think Barkley has like a 30-point advantage on any other running back this week. Like I truly do. Like the other running back scored 15, while Barkley's going to score almost 40. I think Barkley's a must. I didn't think he was a must in captain, but I'm not mad at it. Yeah, we're gonna have to save some money. I don't really know what to do with this slate. I don't really like this game of the two gamers, to be honest. Yeah, let me get Zach Ertz. I think Daniels in a close game. Daniels relies on Zach Ertz. That's kind of his. I think it's more of his money guy, like the guy he trusts the most. Like Terry McLaurin's probably the most exciting, but I think when push comes to shove, he looks for Zach Ertz.
Yeah, I think Ertz is going to be more involved than people think. Trying to think. We're going to need value with Barkley at captain, so I'm looking at cheap guys. And these are all dart throw, like sub 10%ers, but like maybe.
At this point in the year, though, that's kind of what you need. Like we're only talking about a two-game slate. You know, obviously in this showdown.
Who would you rather have, Zacchaeus or Crowder?
I would have said Crowder had I thought Zacchaeus was limited, but he practiced in full. I think the last 2 days in the week. So I would go with Zacchaeus.
All right, let's go Zacchaeus. Seems like a good pick. Now, this game, I expect this game to be close.
Yeah, the zucchini revenge game. Come on. I don't ever call him Zacchaeus anymore. I just yeah.
Oh,
Who do I want to go here?
Just call him by his first name then.
No,
man, I'm getting.
let's not get crazy now. I think it's kind of you gotta play him.
You will put respect on Olamide's name.
I feel like it's a good nickname, but I'm just gonna throw in another. I'm gonna spend all our money. Get Jaden Daniels in there. He's too good.
Yeah, I mean, if we're doing
It's
two
the
pass
offense.
catchers, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Barkley's running all over the place, putting up 200 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Or maybe it's just 200 yards and Jalen Hurts is stealing all the touchdowns. That would suck. But
All right.
we got 2 spots left, $12K. So that's a solid amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I want to go 2 mid-range guys and grab like a kicker and a low-end dude, or do I want to punt again and get like Hurts or AJ Brown or even just Scary Terry? Like, if we were to just put Terry McLaurin in this bitch,
Yep.
we can find a 3K guy.
There are guys.
Oh yeah, you can go to Crowder. I mean, you could go to
Play
McNichols.
Dotson. It's Dotson. We got Dotson here. It's Dotson.
He caught a pass in the playoffs.
I don't think that's no one cares, and no one else is going to get that reference.
I mean, no.
I will say on that comment, by the way, one of our commenters asked if we would captain De'Ami Brown to get more studs. You just have to know what game script you're playing for. I wouldn't do it because it's De'Ami Brown, but there are players.
I might do it considering now it's a little recency bias, but like I could definitely see paying down for someone in order instead of Barkley to fit all of Barkley and Jaden Daniels instead.
Yeah, see, I'm more of a guy who would just play the 2 tight ends to play someone.
See, I could also, we could go Calcantara, but like Goddard's the guy. Like that's the thing. If we didn't do Scary Terry, we could do something like Goddard and a kicker or something. Goddard, Washington kicker might not be a horrible way to go with this instead of Scary Terry.
It's up to you if you want to switch Scary Terry.
It's up to you, man.
I want F1 in there. I want Scary Terry in there so bad.
Then Logan, pick your favorite guy left. Who cares about the salary
pick your
remaining?
favorite cheap guy.
I can tell you right now, the guy who gets the most snaps out of all these is Calcaterra, but Crowder probably has the most recent targets.
He does, but we're playing
There's Dotson. You got Dotson.
Yeah.
Dotson, I'll check his snap count for you.
I actually don't care. It's a running bit for me. You need to go rewatch Jurassic Park.
And he got 2 targets against Green Bay, but that was it. But the one was a touchdown.
A rare touchdown, to be fair.
I was thinking about John Bates because
Dotson was playing 62% of the snaps last week, which is a lot.
Yeah, I think I will go Dotson then. I was just waiting on that usage number because he did catch a touchdown already in the playoffs.
Yeah, and this works because like Barkley can put up a bunch of points, Dotson can catch a random touchdown, but as long as Hurts isn't getting the rushing touchdowns, he probably doesn't get there because he never passes a lot anyway.
That's correct.
So that could work in our favor. And then we get a full Washington side knowing that they keep up and push pace, and we have a nice high-scoring game.
I think I just opened
Both teams could score 20. Like, that's easy. Like, I like that game script.
No, it makes sense.
That's a fun 3 o'clock NFC game for the Super Bowl.
I'm trying to find this other
It's the late game, right? So it's the first red one on the showdown. Or, yeah, this one.
Buffalo and Kansas City. All right, Logan. You pick
your captain.
Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna go with the safety. Give me Patrick Mahomes. I've been playing him for that just safety floor quarterback position all year, and it hasn't failed me. I will be honest though, maybe this lineup doesn't win first place because I did that, but I don't know if this lineup will fail now. And so I'm happy with
Okay.
that.
Can you look something up for me, Donnie?
Yep.
Kansas City wide receivers. What were their
Snap
snap counts last week?
Okay. These ones I do know a little
I
bit.
vaguely remember DeAndre Hopkins and Juju and Hollywood Brown not scoring anything.
Okay. So it's very interesting. Xavier Worthy, 82% of snaps, clearly the number one. Number two.
Yeah, you got to get the rookie out there. He fat.
Yes. Number two, Hollywood Brown at 67%. Number three is Juju at 41, and Hopkins is at 31, with Justin Watson getting some random snaps. So it's Juju is number three, it looks like, compared to Hopkins being 4.
Okay, so I know the next two players I would put in this lineup now after that. But I'm just going to put in one of them, Kelsey.
Yeah. And for whatever it's worth, Noah Gray gets 57% of snaps. So
yeah, I know. That's a big highlighted in bold for what it's worth. Noah Gray.
I'm just saying he has snaps guys like Hopkins.
I'm not saying he won't be in this lineup still. I'm just saying we're going Kelsey first.
Dalton Kincaid.
Oh, that's cheap for Kincaid.
But
actually, I like that.
Oh, it is. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, it is Donnie's pick, though, yeah.
I want Hollywood in there. If we're playing Mahomes captain, he has to hit a home run. I like it to be Hollywood.
We were going to put Worthy in at some point.
I don't mind Hollywood at all. Now it's my pick, isn't it?
Yep.
I'll say I like Kincaid because the Bills have been a very run-heavy team of recent because they've, obviously been favored or, the really good team that everyone expected, and then, they expected just to win and to advance. I think this is one of the rare games where they're going to have to throw. They will be behind. They haven't been behind much this season, if not in the playoffs at all. So when they are behind, Kincaid is on the field a lot more as that kind of slot receiver de facto. So I think that will be the case.
All right, so Mahomes is dealing. Kincaid catches a touchdown. I think there's only one play to go here, and then I'll just leave it to Donnie for the last pick. Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Jag from he changed his name because Josh Allen is so good, by the way.
Hines Allen now. Yeah, he just went to hyphenate it.
Yeah, hyphenated it with the ketchup brand.
I'm just saying, like, your quarterback's really good.
Condiment. He's a condiment.
I'm just saying the quarterback's really good when you force NFL level talent to change their name. So I do agree Josh Allen is a really good
player.
That leaves you with exactly everyone Amari Cooper down, 5,200.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this out here. Does anyone want to move up at all from anything?
No.
I like where this lineup is actually going. Like, what do we have at 3,200? Like, do we go the 3-3 with Cooper? I wouldn't be totally fine just putting in Butker.
You know what? You're right.
Or Bass.
Let's not overthink it. Let's go.
This is where a kicker would go, and he could go.
Yes. Let's just go Butker.
But we have to realize this. This is showdown. So if we want real showdown strategy, we put in Butker. Now, before we lock this, I like the 4-2 better than the 3-3, so that's a plus. Mahomes, 2 pass catchers, and the kicker, so Kansas City's putting up points the whole game. Josh Allen, Kincaid. So it's all going through Josh Allen except for a touchdown to Kincaid here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate the script of this lineup. So the only thing I have to look at now is ownership. Mahomes captain's probably going to be decently owned. Probably not the highest owned. Kelsey or Josh Allen himself will probably be higher owned than Mahomes. But Mahomes will be decently owned. Kelsey will be owned. People will take shots with Hollywood. I think Kincaid's too cheap, so he probably will be kind of chalky, like a 20%er. Josh Allen himself. Like, the only real key is, like, we might want to get off Butker or Hollywood for an ownership thing. But that would be it. Would be, like, leaving money on the table and turning, like, Hollywood into the Chiefs'
Cooper,
defense.
maybe? I mean, but I will say this, just because
Kincaid down to Mac Hollins, something like that might be a pivot.
It's not something I'm advocating to switch to. I just want to bring it up because he's so cheap. Juju getting almost 50% of the snaps at 2,200 is really cheap.
If that snap share what you said, like Hopkins is like the biggest fade on the slate at like 6,200.
Yes, but Juju,
like he should be right there with at that snap share. He should be like right there with Coleman at 44.
Mm-hmm, yeah, I just figured Juju would be more of a 35 guy because he has 41% snap share.
I'm a little worried about not having a running back. Like if I were to get something in this lineup, it would be like I might switch Hollywood and Butker to Pacheco and a cheaper guy, whatever fits. Like that would be the 2v2 I would do. Looking at this lineup,
there's always Johnson for Buffalo. He gets good snap work. He gets receiving work, but you know, I don't mind how this is. Kincaid's failed me so much I don't want to play him anymore.
And that's why I think he's a good play, because there's been so many game scripts where he didn't fit. And I think, like, to beat Kansas City, they're going to have to throw. They're going to have to be aggressive. I actually could see Josh Allen, like, running 2 touchdowns in. I think this game script speaks, like, the way we built it speaks that the Bills would be up. They would get most of their offense through Josh Allen, rushing and doing the goal line sneaks and, like, the power quarterback kind of movements. They get up. Patrick Mahomes has to come back and force to throw. I think that's what our lineup kind of says. Are we ready to build the 2-gamer?
Yeah, I think we can do a 2-gamer lineup. Going a little quick today, but I have a hard out, so like keep questions rolling in chat. We'll see what we can get to.
By the way, people did say last week, this was a question we answered ourselves, Bill, but you weren't here. And people were asking how much money you would leave on a showdown slate. Since we just talked about showdown, it's kind of relevant.
I mean, I usually on a showdown, depending on what the captain pricing is for certain players, like if all of the receivers were really cheap and they weren't priced up, or like if Amari Cooper was being used as a number 1 and was priced where he's at and stuff like that, like those would be obvious captains. There'd be lots of value.
Right.
When stuff like that happens, I leave thousands on the table sometimes.
Well, I appreciate that.
Leaving up to $1,000 on the table in a showdown is not a horrible idea. Because like sometimes that's the difference between like even right here, like that's the difference between like, do you play Dalton Kincaid and hope he catches a touchdown and gets you 10, 11, 12 points?
Yeah.
Or do you play the kicker, Tyler Bass, and hope he gets you 2 or 3 field goals with the extra points and get you 13 points or something? Like those 2 guys are $1,000 apart, could easily have the same score.
Yeah. People can go back and listen to that, by the way. Me and Donnie really did break down some good game theory on that one. I'll say, just for the sake of time, you'll have to go and find that one. But we kind of agreed we'd go there as well. So there you go on that. Like I said, we always do appreciate the comments, so keep them coming. How do we want to do this? Just a normal draft? We don't have a draft order, though.
Yeah.
So we're just going to do it generator?
Yeah, I'll random number generator. What's everyone's numbers?
4.
15.
All right. I'll just go 20. And it is 36. So, I guess that gives me first. And I'm gonna do something very different here. Because I'm so worried about not getting the right one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just throw Kansas City's defense in there. I will say this about defense. I would not play the NFC defense at all. Don't play Washington, don't play Philly is where I'm at. I don't care who you play from Kansas or Buffalo, but I think it has to be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel anyway. Because I'm playing the script that Saquon just goes off.
Well, I was just gonna say you have to play whatever script. Like it's important you follow your script this week. I feel like whatever narrative you're trying to tell yourself, that lineup has to tell that story.
100%. And that my script is that NFC, both defenses aren't great, and they're going to have, the offenses will have their way. And the AFC has been Kansas City's defense suffocating for the last 3 years. So I'm just going to continue to say that.
Yeah, I don't hate that. It's not a bad way to go.
Gov, it's your pick, right?
No, I was last.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, let me just jam in the obvious. Let me get Saquon Barkley. I said it earlier. I honestly think he could be the pace setter car that's like a half a lap ahead of everyone else in this field. And when that's the case, I feel like you have to play him. I do think there'll be people that try to get too cute and not play him. And I'm not saying there won't be the 1%, percent of lineups that get the weird combination right where you can play him and not have to worry about the price. But I don't want to play that sticky game. I think it's way like I think there's just a honey trap of not taking the sweet obvious value because I do think at this juncture I do think Barkley is a value because there's so much other value. There's so many other ways to build. I think not taking Barkley is a mistake. I'll say that.
Okay. Let's get the guy I wanted in the last game, in the showdown that I didn't get to. We're going to play Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
Because I wanted a running back. I was afraid of not getting one of him or Pacheco. I like Hunt more in the two-gamer.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's weird. Both of those guys have been stayaways for me because I think Pacheco gets more work and like the receiving work, and maybe he gets like the early work to see like what he's got to kind of give him a boost of confidence. But if I was to go to the sports book, I think Hunt has the highest upside for touchdowns. So if you were doing a touchdown bet, or if you do, if you were betting the over, for example, in the spread, I think Hunt is that guy. So it's weird for me. So it's been a stay away. So I'm glad that you kind of forced it in.
Are we snaking or
pick
no?
Number two. Yes, I figured we were. So I'm just looking right now and seeing if this will work. I like what we got. Let's get in Terry McLaurin.
Terry McLaurin. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right. I think that's a good core right there. Barkley, Hunt, McLaurin, and the Chiefs D. Like that tells you like the Chiefs D is going to dominate. Hunt's going to be solid. Barkley goes off and McLaurin goes off like that. So like a good NFC game at 3:00 and then a Chiefs Buffalo game at 4 or at 6.
Yeah, I will say. Go ahead, Donnie.
I'm just this is how I'm playing it. That Washington Philly's going to be high scoring. Kansas City Buffalo will probably be 24-20, and I don't know who's going to win, but I'm not going to bet against the Chiefs.
And I think that's a safe bet. I mean, I bet the Chiefs right away. The moment the game was over, I don't even think Lamar Jackson was off the field when I made that bet because I didn't want to take any chances that it was going to move. So I bet the money line on the Chiefs really quickly. I will say with the Terry McLaurin thing that's interesting is the first matchup with the Eagles, because they are division rivals, they played, and that was one of Terry McLaurin's worst games. I believe he had like 1 or 2 points. Like he had a couple bad games this year, points wise, and then that second matchup they put him in the slot and he dominated. So it'll be interesting to see how he's used because obviously when he was in the slot he did very well. The Eagles have some trouble with their secondary right now with injuries. So I actually like the shot on Terry McLaurin. Okay, so It is my pick, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Something tells me that Cooper is going to have a big game at some point during the playoffs. I liked a lot of the media reports coming out of out of the locker room. They were asking him like, "Are you disappointed you came to this team and your usage has been low?" And he's like, "I've been part of so many teams. I just want to win at this point." Like I love that he had that winning mentality. I think it's the opposite of AJ Brown, and I do think that gets rewarded. Whether that's just like tenacity and determination to stay on point and run your routes and do the best you can, or Josh Allen to like, you know what, this guy's been a good soldier. I just think Amari Cooper is going to have a big splash game.
My only issue with this is he's like at best wide receiver 4 in the depth chart. In some weeks, he's wide receiver 5.
Well, I mean, he did come out and say like he's fine with his role. He just needs to get the job done. Like so, like he knows what he's here to do.
Yeah.
And like he's the guy who beats man coverage. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he has a big week this week because like he's going to beat the man coverage of the Chiefs.
Yeah, maybe Buffalo doesn't get cute. I doubt Curtis Samuel does a lot this week. I expect Cooper to outsnap him this week, though it's a 50-50 chance. I expect Cooper to be more in the game plan. But I'm scared off of the play.
And you should be scared. There's reason to be scared, but the price also reflects that kind of risk. Like, it's more
spooky price. Woo.
Well, that's to my point. To my point, though, it's more of a thrill because it's like, yeah, I know I'm taking a bit of a chance, but his price is at a point where I feel like I don't need that much.
Okay, now I am gonna go ahead, and I think I'm gonna play Kelsey. He's the safety blanket. It's who Mahomes wants to go to.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine Kelsey to have a good game.
How much of that narrative do you believe? Like, how much of that, like, Travis Kelsey, the veteran, the playoff Kelsey, like, it's different. Like, is that real or is that fake? Like, how much of that do you buy?
It's 100% real as, like, I think Kelsey definitely was coasting through the regular season to have the big games now. He can't handle 18 games of it, or, 18, 19 games of it. He needs to do, how Gronk ended his career, where he didn't do much the regular season, but come postseason time, I think he had like 4 touchdowns his last postseason run. You got to play it like that when you're older.
And funny enough, that's kind of how I feel about Cooper. So it's like you set my exact reason for playing Cooper up like that. I don't know. I like what we're doing here. Gov, have any ideas?
No. I mean, it's my pick again, and I know exactly where I'm going with it. My last pick, I'm taking our flex spot, and I'm playing Zach Ertz.
Just safety, eh?
Yeah. I mean, it's 2 guys that are trusted. They're going to be there. They're going to get work. It was between, to be fair, on that flex spot for me, I'm 50-50 between Eckler and Ertz. But I am playing both of those guys.
Yeah.
All right, Logan, it's your pick, and then I get the final pick. I can't believe you did the right thing and took the defense, and we're a good guy. And then we left you the ability to pick the quarterback. And what the hell, dude? You pick Zach Ertz?
Yeah. Hey, man.
Donnie's a very fun, interesting, very conservative guy. He wanted a very fun, conservative tight end. He picked both of the tight ends, Gov. He loves tight ends.
Yeah, he's tight end in it.
Slow.
He took the last 2 picks and he made it tight.
For as young and as fun as Donnie is, you are the most conservative curmudgeon I've ever known. Like, so the tight end selection just makes perfect sense.
Well, it kind of pigeonholes me a little bit because you're going Mahomes.
Yes, I am.
Quarterback. You're just going to pick our quarterback then, and you're going to go Mahomes.
Yeah.
All right, Worthy.
That's what I figured you'd do. I don't know if you would have picked Mahomes, but I thought, like, if I pick Mahomes, he's going to pick Worthy. He wanted in the showdown, so let's get some exposure to him in the
Yep,
game.
the
That's
guys
a
I
lot
wanted
of
in the showdown,
Kansas
I
City,
got.
I will say.
It's a Kansas City stack. You have Mahomes, you have Worthy and Kelsey, you have
The defense. We have
Hunt.
Hunt.
And the defense. Like that is a giga stack of Kansas City, and we even had Cooper on the other side. So like we're stacking that late game with Barkley and Scary Terry.
What I like is
and Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. Like I think that's the way to go.
At least
Figure out
it's
the
a
game
script.
you think you like the most, and like get all the pieces from that game the way you want it, and then just fill it in with the best guys you can from the other game. Or start with that. Like figure out the game you want, and then just grab the two best guys from the other game and build around it with the game you want.
I thought we were gonna get Jaden Daniels, to be honest. When I picked Ertz, I thought Jaden Daniels was gonna be a shoe in.
I probably would have if it were my pick.
Yeah, I know.
And then left us like $6K for.
Can we see what it looked like otherwise if we go?
This is my other lineup, but yeah, we can do that. I thought I hit the right one. I forgot I gave us a 3-gamer. I like it
I'm
because
just curious as what the 2v2 is.
So you go off Mahomes to Jaden Daniels.
And get off Worthy.
Then get off Worthy.
Zacchaeus probably. Oh,
De'Ami Brown.
Yeah. So the 2v2
probably do De'Ami Brown. Yeah, the 2v2 Daniels, De'Ami Brown instead of Mahomes and Worthy. You
it's
still
just what
get
game
the
you want to
Kansas
get
City Buffalo game, but now you get more of Washington Philly.
Yeah. I think I would go Hopkins there. I would just play the upside that most people won't want to do it.
Let's play two receivers who are on the field less than half the time.
Hey man, I took 2 zeros last weekend, and I'm a guy who will bet on talent. So that's why I play Amari Cooper in this lineup, because I know Amari Cooper hasn't done it yet, but I do think Amari Cooper is the most talented Buffalo Bills receiver. What I like about that lineup is we're still playing the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City game to have the most points and be the shootout game that everyone thinks. We are just playing it basically to be a shootout or a blowout, basically having it be Mahomes heavy offense, play the defense, and then we'll have one bring back with Cooper.
Yeah, the first time they score 30 this season, coming in the AFC Championship, it does feel very Kansas City. I don't know. It's just where I'm at this week.
Like it's all set up. They're bubbling. We're going to get one of those Buffalo Kansas City games.
Yeah, it's just
back and forth in the fourth quarter, 35, 38.
In my heart of hearts, I think Buffalo's better. I think Buffalo should win. But then I think it's Kansas City. They're going to find a way. I don't know how. It might be defense. It might be offense. But I think they'll find a way.
I think I would bet Kansas City. I think I would bet them minus a 6. I do not see why the Bills and the Chiefs are somewhat comparable. I think there's a lot of Kansas City fatigue, and there's people that want that narrative and they want that Josh Allen remote school
because Kansas City hasn't blown anyone else out yet. What's their biggest win this year?
Yeah, they haven't had to. They basically played preschool football, Donnie, where they've nursed Travis Kelce. You mentioned it.
I don't know what to say besides I don't see who beats Kansas City right now.
Yeah.
Because Kansas City they always do everything right.
Maybe I'm wrong.
It's annoying. They do everything right. And I love it. I love dynasties.
Yeah, I do too. I'm loving them more now that people are starting to get fatigued by them, because I do want to see greatness. I would have probably been more of a Patriots believer, but I'm just a loyalist and I do not like cheating. So the moment any of that kind of stuff happens, I have to get off the dynasty. But I like it. But like the Spurs, I like all those kind of things.
I didn't like the Warriors once KD signed. I'll say that. I was a big Warriors hater when KD went there.
I was still okay with that one. I understand it, but I was still okay with that one. Any other
That one
last
kind of
things?
was the downfall of the NBA, to be honest. Like him doing that, it's like, oh, that's overkill. Like that's not even like him doing what he's trying. Like him doing what he's doing in Phoenix is better than what he did in Golden State. It's like, okay, let me take a couple of dudes I know and let's see if we can do it. If I can be the best guy and make that happen. Like that, I'm fine with. You want to make a super team somewhere, but don't join another person's super team and be the fourth. That's annoying. The fourth, who's actually the second best, like that's annoying.
Yeah. But was treated like the best. Oh man. Well, that's the NBA, baby.
No, I do feel like we all play video games, so I just feel like the Chiefs are like they manage their stamina really well. Like it's like that fighting game where the Chiefs have managed their stamina really well, and they haven't given you the special move. They haven't given you the the finisher. And everyone's like, well, they're good, but how good are they? And it's like, yeah, well, everyone else is gassing out, and the Chiefs are still waiting. And that's how I feel. So that's why I built it the way I did. I mean, I built a lot of Kansas City and very few Buffalo pushback lineups. I will be low. I will be the lowest on Josh Allen. I guess that's a good way to close. Who's the one guy that you feel like is going to be the highest owned that you're going to fade, or that you're going to have the least of? Because maybe you shouldn't fade anyone. But
I built a lineup with every quarterback but Jalen Hurts. If that tells you Hurts. Like I have 3 lineups, all different quarterbacks, no Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. So quick follow-up, Donnie. Is it because he hurt? Is it because he's hurt? Is it because you don't want to believe in the talent? Like, what is it?
I don't believe in Jalen Hurts. He doesn't get passing volume. I don't see it. I don't see it with Jalen Hurts. I'm waiting for him to prove me wrong.
Yeah. It's a wonder, like, you're waiting for that with Jalen Hurts. He doesn't even make my radar because I'm waiting for that with Lamar Jackson, who's clearly somewhat better than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. I do think we're seeing a lot of parity in the NFL, but who's that one guy for you, Gov, that everyone's talking a lot about? You could see it, but you just think the ownership's gone a little too far in one direction. The guy that like sure could have a good game, but they just want too much for him.
I think it's Hollywood. Like I think they want him to be that deep ball guy, but he's never been a number 1 wide receiver, and I don't he's just upgraded MVS. If MVS is a 4 or 5 at what he does, Hollywood is the guy who's the 8 at what he does. But what he does is just catch deep balls. He's not great at everything else. They're going to need guys like Hopkins and Kelsey to go over the middle of the field and catch the balls that Mahomes likes to throw. And then it'll open it up for a random deep ball to a Hollywood, to an MVS, to a Mecole Hardman, to whoever it's
well, when Kelsey plays well, it opens up the deep ball, to be fair.
Yeah. But some of those deep balls are going to go to Worthy, too, and they just send him flashing downfield. So it's not like he gets every single one. So, like, I think it's Hollywood. If people are going to be steaming Hollywood, like number 2 wide receiver, Kansas City, Hollywood, no, I'll be off of that one.
I'll give mine quickly because it shouldn't take much time. You guys can laugh if you want. The ownership on this guy is bizarre to me. He's had like a couple good games, but they came on kind of the Cinderella story of those Commanders. They came on Zacchaeus getting hurt and literally had a groin injury. De'Ami Brown is like a deep ball kind of guy, a fun guy, but he is not a volume receiver. He is not a guy I would trust. He's not a guy I would build an offense around. I don't understand that price. If he was $3K, it would be a decision if I played him or not. So the fact he's like, $2,000 more is just absurd to me. I think he's terrible. Come at me on Twitter, De'Ami Brown, if you want. You could say maybe I'm a St. Brown believer because St. Brown hated that he was drafted after him. I've just never got the Brown love at all. You know who he is? He's Tutu Atwell. That's who he is to me. I just don't get it.
Oh, damn it. I love Tutu. Jam him in, baby.
Yeah, like they're the same skill set. And the only reason Brown got on the field and sure he performed, I can't take that away from him, was because Zacchaeus had to pull his groin. So
De'Ami Brown's been getting on the field all year long and was out snapping Zacchaeus almost all year, besides for like a 2-month stretch. But like it's been even 2 months to 2 months. So
fair. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not going to claim that I know all the statistics. All I know is, like, if you look at the Commanders' wide receiver room, they're all pretty terrible. Like, that's
it's
the one
Terry
thing.
McLaurin and then other guys. For sure.
Right. Terry McLaurin's been special, but the rest of those guys need an upgrade.
Jamison Crowder getting on the field says all you need to know.
Exactly. That's more my point, I guess. But I'll put away the fiery takes. We'll get out of here on this. Have a good day, guys. Thanks for joining us. I know we were a bit late, but thanks for sticking with us. Again, like and subscribe on your way out. It matters a great deal to us. We'll be back for the Super Bowl. That will be Guff's earned captain selection. All year long, we did a spread pick for the captain selection. Are you excited, Guff?
Do you have your
It depends on
list?
who's in the freaking Super Bowl.
Do you have your list of guys you would potentially do for each team?
Yeah, Donnie's been asking me for weeks if you
want to
actually
see my list?
He's got. I told everyone last week that Gov definitely has a short